Hello and welcome back. Today we'll be talking about the top 10 fun facts about ancient Egypt. Starting off the list, did you know that there are actually around 130 different pyramids in Egypt, many of which, even with today's technology, would cost a fortune to build? Speaking of pyramids, that brings us into our next fact. No, the pyramids were not built by slaves, although many people do assume so. The many pyramids across Egypt were in fact actually built by proper laborers, and they were all compensated for their time. Fun fact number 3 is that the Pyramid of Giza, which is the largest of all the pyramids, is actually around 450 feet tall. This is taller than the Statue of Liberty, as well as Big Ben and the Leaning Tower of Pisa, an amazing monument that to this day nobody knows how for certain it was built. On the topic of the Pyramid of Giza, this pyramid did take around 20 years to fully construct, and it's estimated that they had around 100,000 men working on this project. Fun fact number 4 is that the ancient Egyptians actually loved board games. Now, these board games weren't just for the wealthy. The board games actually were enjoyed by commoners as well, and the Egyptians loved these board games so much that even some of the pharaohs had these games buried with them. Some of these board games even date back over 5,000 years, which is truly incredible. I wonder if it was like an ancient Monopoly, who knows? Heading into fun fact number 5, we have, of course, that the cats themselves are sacred in ancient Egyptian culture. Cats were thought to bring good luck, and they were so revered that when a cat died, the pharaohs had them mummified, and you can see tons of different imagery of cats within the ancient hieroglyphs. Heading into the next fun fact, we have the 12-month calendar was actually invented in ancient Egypt. Yes, that's right, the calendar that we use to this day was invented by the Egyptians. The main difference is that each month was always 30 days, which meant there were actually 360 days a year. Now, with 360 days, this did make the seasons fall out of sync, so to make up for it, the ancient Egyptians actually held a 5-day festival at the end of every year. Me personally, I would love to see every year having a 5-day festival. I guess that's like Christmas break. Anywho, next up, we have King Tut and the Curse of the Mummy. There isn't all that much known about the boy king. He did die at the age of 19, and his tomb is one of the smallest in the Valley of Kings. It is believed that the hieroglyphs on King Tut's tomb are actually cursed, so beware next time you might be walking through the Pyramid of Giza. Next up, we have there actually was a female pharaoh who wore a fake beard. Although I may mispronounce the name to me sounds like HATSHEPSUT, and this Egyptian pharaoh was a woman, and she actually wore a fake beard. Even the statues and different monuments of her depict her with this beard. Next up, for those of you who don't know, the pyramids themselves were actually mainly tombs for the pharaohs after they passed, and with the mummification of these pharaohs, it was estimated that they used around 1,500 meters of a thin strip of cloth. Now, that is a ton of bandages, so every pharaoh that did die, they had to wrap that sucker up with 1,500 meters of bandages. Pretty crazy. Next up, we have that both men and women wore makeup in ancient Egypt. Most of their makeup contained copper and lead, and nowadays we wouldn't use those type of materials, but it's interesting to know that they very much cared about beauty. Even the men wanted to spruce it up. Next up, I'm gonna give you a trivia question. So, how many gods do you think there were in ancient Egypt? If I were to tell you that there were over 2,000 different gods and goddesses in ancient Egypt, would you believe me? Well, they did, and many of which had human bodies and animal heads, each one having their own significance and all being depicted within the hieroglyphs. Next up, we have that they actually use moldy bread to treat wounds, and although this may sound gross, it is true. The bacteria in the mold would actually act as an antibiotic, and they use this to heal cuts and other kinds of injuries. Definitely an unorthodox approach, but still pretty cool. Lastly, we have kind of the grossest of all the fun facts, and it's that the mummification of the pharaohs was a quite messy endeavor. Before the pharaohs were actually mummified, the brains were removed through the nostrils. They would leave the hearts inside the bodies though, because they believed it was needed in the afterlife. So go ahead and write down in the comment section which one was your favorite fun fact, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, anything like that would be greatly appreciated, and if not, no worries. That being said, that is all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and until next time, bye!